All right, another week around the trash fire. Your host Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Not a heavy news week this week.
Not at all. Black Templars came out though. Well,
Well, the
the
pre-order
news.
did,
I mean, yeah, the pre-order.
but that's about it. Though not really surprising given what we know the
Mhm.
release schedule was going to be like.
Right.
Because I guess really the only if you exclude the Black Templar, since they're supposed to be released next month, the only big thing they have scheduled is the the Underworlds, Harrow Deep.
Stormcast need to come out still, but yeah, the rest of the Stormcast stuff is still not out yet, which is concerning. But
Hmm.
I don't know, JW.
Well, that's AOS, and we don't talk about AOS here. Okay, what we talk about is old world news because that's what we care about.
Absolutely.
And I went over this, and yeah, I thought it was gonna be like some thrilling news about how the progress of the game's going. No, it's just lore.
This is something annoying me with the old world reveals. Is it just like random lore stuff from Warhammer that you probably know about already. Maybe not. I mean, maybe this is pretty obscure stuff, for example, but it's like, this exists somewhere, right? Like, show me something, show me the model, show me concept art. Like, this is like the fifth article about maps that they've released. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's a little. I get that they're trying to build up the world and all that, but the world's already been built up.
Right.
People just want to know what it's gonna be. They obviously know it's gonna be old fantasy, but that doesn't really mean anything.
Right. So,
This could be that
yeah.
ninth edition that everyone wants. But yeah, so I put it in here because I thought it was gonna be something interesting, and then I read it, and then it's like, oh,
Just kidding.
it's really nothing.
Mhm.
So there you go to satisfy your lore needs. Here's more stuff about human empires.
Yay.
Yay. uh, yeah, not too exciting. I'm with you. I'd rather just see some concepts being thrown out there.
Yeah, like again, like even just some dudes, I would be happy with that. But yeah, come on. Annoyed.
Yeah, well, it is completely annoying, but whatever. This game's not coming out for another 12 years,
That's true. That's very true.
so not much we can really do. The maps are gonna have to quench our appetite for now.
Right, right, right.
But moving on, I figured we'd go on to what is up for pre-order this week, since I don't think anything is too big here. Harrow Deep,
Yep.
uh, pretty much expected.
Yeah, I might pick it up. I mean, I like this game. I like collecting the minis. So, well, I don't know if maybe I'll grab it. We'll see. I mean, they said you'll get some sweet tokens if you pre-order, so I might do that.
Well,
We'll
that's
see.
the only incentive they can give you.
Right.
But yeah, so we got Harrow Deep. We've given our thoughts on the miniatures and whatever else we've talked about it, so it's not too much to talk about there. Octarius book coming coming out, the DLC books.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's gonna have Tyranids and Guardsmen.
Yeah. No orcs, thankfully.
Um, I would assume it would have, if we are to say that the post leaks are true. I would be shocked if Gene Stealer's Custodes were not in this book,
True.
because it just seems weird that they would be releasing Guardsmen Tyranids if Custodes and Gene Stealer cults are expected in December.
Right. That's true. Unless I don't know. Yeah, it's unclear. I I don't know. It's tough to say for
Oh,
sure.
well, I mean, just looking at the title, right? I mean, cover. You just see
I mean,
guardsmen and Tyranids, so.
right, right. It's tough to say if there's more than that. So
Well, because I've never picked up any of these books. I don't know if you have either, but how many armies are usually in here? Like three?
usually at two or three. So
Uh,
I mean, if I think if you play Tyranids and Guard, it's a good way to tide you up before the Codex comes out. And I'm assuming these Codex releases are going to be massive, so
well,
it's cool to kind of keep it updated for eighth edition, sorry, ninth edition.
well, I mean, I hate these books, but
Oh yeah, they're
the
terrible.
only good thing I can say about this is that it gives you a precursor on what your army may look like.
Right,
Because these two armies, again, if we were to go by those leaks being 100% real, these armies aren't until next year.
right.
So have fun with the DLC that you get for your 8th edition books.
Hmm.
It's sad. It's sad to see, really. I really don't like this. And you got the Crusade book. The dice are whatever. Go to Etsy, get better dice. Honestly, don't spend $35 on these.
Yeah, I mean, if they're like 15 to 20 bucks, I think they're pretty cool for that. But yeah,
Yeah, don't
kind
do
of
it.
just generic, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Forge World. This guy. Uh, this was the leaked model, right? That they accidentally
Yeah,
sent out to someone.
this guy exists. Um, he's cool. He'll be a cool chaos. I mean, if the scale is right, I could see him be a cool chaos marine model. I might use him for that. But otherwise, it's cool. More 30K stuff.
Yep.
Glad it exists.
Well, he's finally come out after being leaked like
A while ago.
4, 5 months ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. Then the Destroyer Squad. We talked about those guys last week, I believe. So
Yeah, so re-release.
getting that. The Horus Heresy books. This is more your department. Is this stuff new or is it just like back in
It's
stock?
a reprint. So they're not so the Horus Heresy has the hardcover black what we call the black books, which are the campaign slash rule books. So they initially come out on hardback, but because of production costs and all that, once the hardback is sold out, they don't reprint them in hardback. They just reprint them in softbacks. It's just announcing that book three is gonna be and book seven are gonna be reprinted in softback. So
Mm.
yeah,
Okay,
so
so
these are already out. They're just being reprinted.
you just get these back and you just get these soft back covers. Got it.
Yes.
Uh, Citadel releasing Grass.
I actually like this stuff. I'm a huge fan of tufts. I recently just bought a bunch for my orcs for their snow bases. So depending on the price, I might pick up a bunch of these because I'm a huge fan of them. Like most of my armies have used tufts. So
I don't really mess with this. I kind of just put sand on my base and either prime it or leave it as sand,
that's
depending on
fair.
what I'm going with. I don't like putting all that extra stuff on it.
That's fair.
I know it'll
I do
make it
like.
look better, but I'm lazy.
I will say with the tufts, like it's one of the more low effort ones. I mean, you still need to like put it on there, right? But to me, it's for me like I like the easiness of it.
Mm.
So for you listeners who want to spice up your bases with minimal effort, this is a good choice.
I would say depending on the price.
Yes, depending on the price, absolutely. End of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah, because I'm sure you can get this stuff a lot cheaper elsewhere. But we'll see. I just say it's expensive because it is GW. So
GW, yeah.
let's see. We got comic books. I haven't read any of them, so can't really tell you if they're good or bad. But
I've heard they're good. I haven't read them either. Not read them either because they're not just the stories don't interest me. Like if they had like a Black Templars one or like a Chaos Marine one, I would be up for it. But I don't really. I'm not the biggest fan of Calgar and Scissors of Battle, so haven't really read them. But I'm sure they're good. I've heard they're good. So
Yeah.
I think if you care about these factions, it's probably worth it.
If they're good stories, they're definitely worth picking up. But I really haven't heard anything. And the only thing I've ever heard about Calgar is that he went on a
Lord of Skulls.
Lord of Skulls and ripped its head off, and that's about it. That's like the only thing I ever heard about the comic books. And then we got Warhammer Plus. We gotten just
Another
a battle
animation.
report and a Hammer and Bolter episode. So overall, that's they are releasing a lot of stuff this week, but it's nothing like substantial.
Yeah, something crazy. I mean, Underworld's always awesome, but other than that, I mean, if you're play Tyranids, you might get excited about the campaign book. So
No, I would assume you're getting pissed if you got that because you're getting day one DLC basically for a book that's not even out yet for your affection.
for the Tyranid Codex, well, I mean, I would be mad if the Tyranid Codex was out soon, but if the Tyranid Codex is like a year out, then I wouldn't be as mad. But the problem is we don't know, so it's hard to tell if this is a good or bad release. I mean, I don't like. I'm with you. I kind of don't like the style anyway, but in terms of keeping your army current, that depends.
And it's just bad practice, in my opinion.
Right.
I've gone on many shows where I said that all the codexes should be released by now, but
Right.
it's whatever. I don't want to retread the old ground. But yeah, I I am upset with GW that these exist. In that because the books for these armies do not exist yet for this edition.
Right.
If the books were out, I still wouldn't care, but I wouldn't be mad. Right? Because then it'd be like, oh, cool. A little fluff piece here with some additional rules for your army. That's
Mhm.
whatever. But because the book isn't out yet, the Tyranids Guardsmen, it's insulting.
Right.
But enough about that. Um, we got more news for you. I know that you're happy. More 30K.
Yeah, more 30K.
Yeah, we got Rimus Venturus.
Ventus.
Ventus.
This just proves to me that they were probably going to release a Shadow Crusade Black Book, but then new edition. Anyways, yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna pick this up. I actually really like this character. If you hate Ultramarines, you should give No No Fear a read. You'll instantly not hate Ultramarines. It's what happened to me. Used to hate Ultramarines. Read No No Fear. This guy's one of the main characters. Awesome book. Um, but yeah, it's cool. No complaints here.
I'll have to take your word on it. I was gonna say, man, you gotta pick it up. It's an Ultramarine. That's the that's the bad rap army right there.
They're super cool in 30K. Like they are really cool in 30K.
Hmm. I'll take your word on that.
Yeah, they're like the only legion with their crap together, unlike everyone else who's collectively losing their mind slowly. But yeah, like I mean, in game, the only complaint about him is he has a 3-up save and a power sword. Nothing special about his melee weapon, which is kind of, in my opinion, kind of lame, especially if he's supposed to like. So his rules intend for him to be like a midfield objective holder because he plants his batter down and then he gives fearless to like ultramarines nearby and he gives them like stubborn and stuff. So
Hmm.
or for your whole army, I mean. But like if you're gonna get assaulted, you're gonna get smushed by a sergeant with a power fist. So I know he had better rules in terms of surviving melee. I mean, I don't want him to be a beat stick because he's not, but I do want him to survive in melee, which right now he's not very good at. So, but in terms of the model, again, super cool. Super happy he's out. He's one of my favorite characters in Horus Heresy. So
Remind me again. 7th edition. AP3 just means if you have the armor save, right?
yes, if your save is 3 or higher, it ignores it, which is that's not bad, right? But if when you realize this guy's probably going to be your warlord. He's probably going to be in a squad of like elite, super elite guys. So your enemy is probably going to throw in their super elite guys who are probably either Terminators or have AP2 weapons. Um, so you want him to be able to withstand that. Otherwise, he'll just get smushed. And I have smushed this guy before in melee. I would send just like scarab cult Terminators at him, and he would just melt, get smushed easily. So
Yeah, rip the power sword. It's a good thing
yeah,
he got buffed back in eighth and
no,
ninth.
I know. Thankfully,
All right then. I don't really have too much to say. I mean, it's just a space marine to me. So,
totally fair.
uh, next one. Controversy things here. We got the two new battle boxes.
Oh man, speaking earlier, you know how earlier you were like ripping on the campaign books?
Uh huh.
Like this is something dumber than the campaign books.
All right. Well, let's start with the space marine, shall we?
Like this is so stupid.
Yeah, this is a bad call. I don't know why they did this.
Yeah, the sticks makes no sense. I mean, here's the thing. If you look at the composition of these bundles, right? They're actually I think they're solid. If you're starting out, this is a good pickup. You know, you got troops, you got some heavy hitters, you got a transport. I mean, we already explained the silliness of an impulsor in a Phobos army, but you know, besides that, you know, it's a pretty good start to a Space Marine army, in my opinion. You know, playing Space Marines.
They always gotta sell a dreadnought.
Right.
They don't care what it is. They just gotta get it in there.
You got the Invictor. Yep. I mean,
It's
that's
the
a cool
dreadnought and
solid.
Phobos. It seems to be the space marine theme.
Yeah.
Gotta get them in there.
But you know, it's a themed box. It's, you know, cool models. They're pretty solid in terms of, you know, none of them are trash in my opinion. Like this is good. The Necron one as well. Like this, you know, you got two troop choices. You can even build half the immortals as death marks. So you have, you know, elites. You got the flyer. You got a Doomsday Arc um slash Ghost Arc for a vehicle. You got some Tomb Blades. You got a Necron Lord. That's super cool. That's a great bundle. You know, so in terms of content, no complaints. But the problem, do you know what the problem with this is?
Let us know what the problem is, Joan.
The problem is there's no discount at all. This is just a one click. Like this article, and they're like, oh no, you gotta order before 12th October, otherwise, you know, you miss your chance. Like, you have until 12th October to press one button. Otherwise, you'll be pressing two buttons. So if you want the contents of these like on Wednesday, oh no, you gotta press two or three buttons instead of one. Whoa, better order it now. Um, it's really dumb. Really, I like what GW does most of the time. This is really stupid. This is a waste of social media presence and just this is it just makes them look ridiculous. Like what is the point of this? You know, like there is no
Yeah.
benefit to this at all.
Well, they seem to be going
Besides
crazy with the FOMO model. You know,
the which one?
FOMO,
You mean
the
the
fear of
the
missing
FOMO
out,
model?
fear of missing out, FOMO.
Right, right. It's just that the FOMO here is pressing one button instead of two. You know, like if there's a free model or something, all right. You know, if there's some tangible benefit, like yeah, like again, like a discounted bundle or like you got a free paint or something, like you got a free can of primer, anything. But no, it's just a one click. Like why?
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing and what is going on in HQ right now, but they're doing some very questionable things, and later in the stream we'll talk about it. What's been
Yeah,
happening, but
yeah. This is just incredibly stupid. Like I have no words for how dumb I think this is. This is dumber than the Sergeant model, the 25th anniversary Sergeant or something. You may pay like $35 for a Sergeant with nothing special about him. Like this is dumber than that.
yeah, well, don't worry, we'll get to that in a moment.
Oh man.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's a cool bundle, but yeah, it's not. I don't. Even if I needed it, I don't think I would buy it. Honestly.
Yeah, it's just there's no point in featuring this because you're just clicking a button. I mean, I guess maybe it's a way to like for people to get the sergeant guy, but I mean, he sold out, so I don't know why they need to push that. So I don't know.
They're just trying to get that money. That's all.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I know we've gone a while without talking about Black Templars because they're the hot thing right now. But have you seen the supposed leak of the combat patrol?
I have, and
I'm sorry for
I'm.
this crappy image. I don't know why it's so pixelated. But yeah, there it is. What are your thoughts?
This is running for orcs and dark angels as like the best combat patrol, in my opinion.
Yeah, do you see? This is what I wanted from that $200 thing.
Yeah, this is, and you know what's funny, Matt? This is cheaper. It's gonna be cheaper than that.
I know it's gonna be cheaper, but you see, if you had scrapped the dreadnought and maybe a character,
Yeah.
well, no, because I said I wanted new models. So, but the
Well,
transport makes a lot more sense.
right. For Black Templars, and they put your Crusaders in there. Super cool.
Yeah.
And this is also something I really like about this in that so if you talk about the Crusader squad really quick, the initiates. So it's not an easy build. You get a lot of options there. So you have enough options there, I believe. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but I mean, looking at the sprue, looking at reviews of it, it seems that you have enough bits to give all the the power armored initiates either all melee or all ranged weapons, which is super cool. And because they give you 5 more intercessors, you can mix and match. So I think that's legit. I think that's awesome. You give like 5 guys. Um, if you give 5 guys like the I mean it's not like you're doubling up on melee weapons or anything, but you do get the cool, like, I guess my point is that you get the cool chain bits. So if you want to give your intercessors the chain bolters, you could do that, which I think is great. There's a lot of bits that you could, from that Crusader box, that you could mix and match with the intercessors that you get to create some cool Black Templar models, and I think that's legit. It seems that there's also some bits, like that Impulsor has a sword on front. I'm not sure if it has the black. It might have the Black Templar. If this has the Black Templar upgrade sprue, this is the best combat patrol. This beats orcs because it's awesome. Because the problem with orcs at the end of the day is that the boys are monopose, which, like, I have no problem with that, but the fact that this box isn't edges that out, and so yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. I definitely think this would be a lot better had they just probably just switched the two. Yeah, I missed out on the Emperor's Champion, but I feel like I get a much better deal out of it.
Yeah, this one feels sizable because if you think about it, the Emperor's Champion probably will cost the same as the 5 dudes. It's one model versus 5, and having those 5 models makes the box feel more substantial, which I am all for.
Well,
Much
because
prefer.
it's not 13 models.
Right.
And honestly, if they just got rid of the dreadnought and put the if they got rid of the dreadnought and put the transport in, I would have said that's a better. I would say that box is fine, but they
Yeah.
didn't. So I would say this combat patrol. Wait and get this combat patrol. It'll I think you'll have a much better time with that.
Yeah, this is legit. Like, if you're on the fence about $200 box, but you want to start Black Templars, just pick this up. This is awesome.
Well, $200 box is passed by the time this goes live, right? Isn't
True,
that
true, true.
didn't that end on Monday or
No,
today?
it's not. I don't think it's sold out yet. I go to the website right now and look, but I
I'm
don't think it's sold out.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure it's a limited order though. So
right, but I'm saying it didn't run out yet.
hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right, I get that. I just thought they were
Yeah.
put a time limit on it till Monday or something like that. Monday
Oh no,
morning.
no, the time limit was if it's sold out, you have until Monday to for them to make some order.
Ah, got it.
But if it doesn't seem like it's sold. I mean, it could be wrong because they said that it would be clear if your order was going to be made to order. But I'm adding this to my cart right now, and it's not saying made to order. It just says your product will ship on Saturday, which is what every pre-order is. So I guess it didn't sell out, which I think that's awesome. Like, it's eventually going to sell out. So.
Well, I mean, as popular as the Black Temple are, they're not that popular. I don't think. They're not like the number one Space Marine chapter that everyone plays.
Right. You actually know what those are?
Do I know what that is?
Yeah, there's an answer to that. Well, there's an American answer and a Canadian answer.
I'll go with Ultramarines. Why not? Ulster
No,
boys.
it's actually
Uh, Give me a hint. Is this like off tournament list or is this
no, just popularity. Like most the best selling Space Marine chapter in the United States. Let's do Canada. Let's do Canada.
Canada? I'll go with Salamanders, and America, I'll go Blood Angels.
No, not even close. Like I didn't guess. To be fair, I never guessed it either when I was told this information.
All
But
right, go for it.
so U.S. is Space Wolves.
Okay.
Yeah, because when Wolfen and Thunderwolves and all that came out, that range was very unique, and that kind of helped people. Um, that pushed people to play Space Wolves. Um, for Canada, it's actually Dark Angels, and the reason being, Canada has a lot of the big stores still. Like if you think of the old Northridge Mall store,
Hmm.
so Canada still has those. In fact, some of their stores are bigger, which means they run a crap ton of demo games like on the clock. And because of that, when remember Dark Vengeance, Dark Angels versus Chaos Marines?
Yep.
So yeah, they sold a crap ton of those. So and Dark Vengeance, that starter set, the Space Marines were Dark Angels with Dark Angel sculpted like symbols on them. So it's not like you could just repaint them another chapter because they were Dark Angels. And so as a result, you have this massive population of Dark Angel players in Canada. Um, so there you go.
No, wow. Yeah, you're right. I guess I would never guess that.
I never guessed it either, but the Space Wolf one is kind of a stretch to me, but the Dark Angel explanation makes a lot of sense, knowing how like GLB stores work.
But that was so
Um,
long ago. That's why I'm shocked that that's still a thing.
yeah, just there's just so many of them still, and those boxes in circulation and all that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to do something we haven't done in a while. That we're not going to drag it out too long here. Uh, it's time to look at the Black Templar Codex.
Yes,
We haven't looked at one of these in a deep dive in one of these in a long time. Though we're not
yeah,
going to go. Excuse me. We're not going to go too in depth here.
right. I mean, I'm going to start this argument, and you play this with me, so it'd be a good thing to talk about.
So uh, we're just gonna go by topics here. I pretty much just watched a Auspex video
Mm.
who did a review on it, and I just took notes on what I thought was interesting.
Yeah, for me, I read the Goonhammer article, and I just watched GMG for specific codex
Ah,
pages. Um, but
well,
yeah,
starting with the core rules. Chapter tactic unchanged. Reroll charge and run rolls, and a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds.
super solid for what it is, especially for a melee chapter. Rerolling charges, always good.
Yep. Our assault dock uh, got removed pretty much. Yeah,
Yep.
what it used to be. It used to be Knights of Sigmunds. Uh, Pretty much just got replaced into a vow.
Yeah.
So that's all the core rules. Uh, the next big thing we got is vows.
The Templar vows.
Yeah, I know they put some on the website, but I didn't bother looking them up. So I say we just go through it really fast because there's only 4.
So these before we go through it, I want to mention that let's go over really quick in terms of what they are. So vows are after I think you pick your mission.
After the mission, after you read the mission briefing,
Yeah, you pick a vow, and these vows have a buff and a slight debuff,
and they
and we'll
last
go
all
over that.
game.
Yeah, last all game. So there's a lot of like it's kind of cool because you could tailor your vows to your opponent. Like there's an anti-psyker one, for example, which you could pull against Thousand Suns or Grey Knights, but maybe not that useful against Dark Eldar, for example. Um, and funnily enough, like this is one of those things where they're all pretty solid, but one of them is just super good, and that's what probably are people gonna take most of the
Yeah,
time.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you know what
Um,
I'm talking about. But yeah, let's go through them.
yep. All right. So suffer not the unclean to live. The vow is a uh, move attack or mortal wounds on attack against non-vehicles. Auto wounds on sixes to hit.
Hmm.
Pretty good. The passion is charging must be declared on the closest unengaged unit.
Yeah,
So that's basically the Knights of Sigmund. That used to be the old assault dock for the Black Templar.
right. So when
It's
you
now this.
roll a six to hit and auto wounds, not bad. I mean, helps.
No,
It's a
no, no, no,
slight,
no. Mortal wound.
yeah, mortal wounds. Excuse me.
It's a, it's a big difference there.
Yeah, it's a big difference there.
So this is okay. It's if you like their old assault dock, you can have this forever now. So it's it's whatever. In the end, it's okay. Not
Yeah,
bad, but not a definitely not the must go to.
no, yeah, yeah.
Uh, uphold the honor of the emperor. Um, the vow is a 5 plus invul save, and unmodified wound rolls of 1 and 2 are auto fail. And the passion is you never benefit from cover against attacks. Um, again, pretty good.
I think that's the best one. I
You think
think
this
that's
one's the best one?
incredibly powerful because the invul works on vehicles, which is ridiculous. So your repulsors, your impulsors, your redemptor dreadnoughts, your um multi-melta attack bikes, your um Mario Karts, all that stuff. That was a 5 up invul.
Yeah,
Um
I agree with you. I was looking at I got it confused with something else. Yeah, this is the best one, only
yeah.
because my opinion, and this
Mhm.
is how I run my Black Templar. Should always do your ABCs. Always be charging.
Yes, always be charging. Don't worry about
So who cares about cover because
it.
you're not sitting. You're charging up with your swords and going forward.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are so this is probably the best one.
Yeah, the math too, like just to put in perspective, like Goonhammer did this cool analysis thing. So a melta gun or a multi-melta, because they kind of do the same damage with one shot of that, right? Has a 83% chance to delete an intercessor with one shot. But
Mm,
this vow turns that 83% to a 44%. Because now your multi-melta is wounding the Marine on a 3 instead of a 2, right?
all right.
And he gets a 5 up invul. So tolling all of that, like yeah, it makes your Marines like almost almost doubly survivable against high powered anti tank guns like multi meltas, last cannons, and all that.
Oh yeah.
Super solid.
This is
Um,
uh this is the one that's probably going to be taking the most. There is one more that's okay that people would probably take. But
yeah,
we'll
I
get
think
to
I know what
that.
you're talking about.
We'll
Yeah.
get to that one. The next one, abhor the witch, destroy the witch. Val, if the enemy has a psyker, get 3+ on turn movement on turn 1, and reroll wounds against the psyker in CC. And the passion is you can't perform actions within 18 inches of a psyker. Um, this one's extremely situational.
Yes, this would be the worst one if not for the fact that you get to pick this after mission
Yeah.
selection. So again, if you're playing like Thousand Suns or like Synapse Heavy Tyranids, Grey Knights, Demons, this is worth considering. Because that rerolling a 1, um, that's a pretty good damage buff.
Mm.
And against like heavy psyker armies, right? That 5 up invul, the other one won't be as good against mortal wound spam. So this is worth considering.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because you get a 5+ uh,
Right.
save against mortal wounds because of your chapter tactic.
Right, exactly. So, you just want to do more damage and get closer to psyker. So yeah, this one is worth considering depending on the army you face. And again, hats off to the design team for making the vows. It's pretty thematic that reading Black Templars lore, they do take the vows depending which opponents they face. They don't take a universal vow for the whole crusade. They see what they're fighting and then they make the challenge accordingly. So, yeah, this benefits from the fact that you pick it before the mission, or sorry, after the mission selection before the game begins.
Yeah. So this one again, very situational.
Yeah,
I I don't know. Even I think even if I went against a Psyker Army, I don't know if I'd pick this. But we'll get to there because there's a unique rule or mission involving this. So,
right.
and the last one, accept any challenge, no matter the odds. Vow, assault doctrine always counts as being active even with an engagement ring, engagement range. So you always get your shock assault basically. Uh,
Yeah. So you have -1 AP, extra AP on your melee weapons forever, and you get the shock assault the whole time. So shock assault being you get +1 attack when you charge. Now you get that the whole time. So it doesn't stack. So even if you charge, you don't get that extra attack, but you keep the extra attack if you've already been in melee. So
yeah, and then the passion being you can't fall back. So
oh no,
hope that you kill whatever you get in contact with, or hope to God that you don't get charged by something that's unkillable.
right.
But that one would probably be my second choice.
This is the fun one, I think. Because it just makes Black Templars better on what they already are, which is just to do more damage and attacks. This is the most fun one, yeah. Just roll more dice, do more attacks in melee.
Yeah.
Um,
But those are the vowels, and I'll say that the vowels are not bad. I like them.
yeah, I mean the
Even
invul one is bonkers, but yeah, the rest of them are pretty solid.
mm-hmm. I'm pretty like what we said. We're pretty sure everyone's just gonna do the uphold the honor.
Yeah, I just that one just makes a lot of the marine vehicles just way worth like impulsors. Like the problem with impulsors is they could get shot to bits. The impulsors being the transport, so you got to shell out points for the shield dome, which gives it an invul. Well, now you get that for free, right? So and yeah, you get that for free. You get the 5 up on your impulsors and your redemptors as well. Your already tanky redemptors with the -1 damage gets a 5 up invul. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good stuff.
it's good stuff. Very happy.
Stratagems. There was a lot that got added, some that got changed. Not gonna go over all of them, just over the ones that I found interesting to me.
Mhm.
Devout push. Rip devout push. That no longer charging turn one, unfortunately. Uh,
Yeah, the reason why this was crazy before because it let you, for 1 CP, your dudes would pile in into melee. So now you can't pile in into melee automatically, but it does give you a movement boost. And they saved it from uselessness by having it. Oh, by adding the caveat that you got to move closer to an objective, so it's not just the close enemy. So,
well, it's
um,
one or the other, right?
yeah, it's one or the other. Yeah. So I think it's a cool 1 CP for 3 inches of movement. I think it's pretty solid. It's not as crazy as it was before.
I like the craziness. I like doing
Yeah,
the turn
craziness was
one charge
funny.
from
Yeah.
across the board.
But this one is not bad. It's just solid. 3 inches of movement. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. Um. Let's see what else is there. Tenacious assault got changed. It used to be 2 CP, but worked on a 2+, and now it's 1 CP and works on a 4+. And pretty much, if you get into combat with an infantry or beast, they can't fall back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So for one less CP, it went up 2 points into what you need to get. So you need a 4+ to get it instead of a 2+,
Yeah.
which is still good, but
Yeah,
now
definitely
it's
we will.
not. Well, now it's not likely that you'll get keep them in combat.
Right.
Let's see
Um,
what else we got here. Uh,
oh,
yeah, go for it. Pick one.
strength of conviction. That is probably, in my opinion, the best stratagem in this supplement. So what it does for 1 CP, a core unit gets obsec until the next turn. That is amazing.
Yeah. That
It's like,
is
hey,
good.
guess what's a core unit? A Redemptor Dreadnought. Guess what else is core? Blade Guard. It's like, hey, I'm gonna grab this objective, and now it's OBSEC. Um, or all Vanguard. The meta hotness for Space Marine since Ninth started. Now for one CP, because I mean there was a Warlord trait that gave OBSEC to core units near the your Warlord, but that's limited to your Warlord, right? But this one is like you let's say you launch your Vanguard across the map, they murder some dudes on the objective, and now for a CP, or let's say they kill a bunch of the dudes, but not enough for them to run, but they're troops, so they're OBSEC. Well, now for one CP, flip it because now you're OBSEC and probably outnumber them. So that's really good.
True. Yeah, that's a good one as well. For the Emperor's Honor 2CP, your Black Templar character in engagement range can pretty much tank all the attacks of another enemy character. So if you charge a
Yeah.
character in there against I don't know, let's say Mortarion,
Hmm.
you pop this TP for 2, and then all his attacks have to go against them, while whatever else you charged in that into Mortarion can attack freely
Are
without
you
worrying to die.
are you done with the stratagems? Because I wanna tie this into a relic.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I'm pretty much done. What do you want?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with stratagems too. Yes. So up for the Emperor's Honor, what Matt was talking about. So this combos really well with this crazy, stupid Neurolic. It's called Tannhauser's Bones, and what it does is when you get damage, all the damage is reduced to one. So in your example, right, like you're having your guy tank Mortarion. Well, now Mortarion is doing one damage to your guy per attack. I mean, if he hits you with 24 attacks, it's 24 damage, right? But if he hits you with the D6 scythe weapon thing, right, or you get multi-gunned, actually, I'm not sure if it works in melee or not. I didn't read the full text, or if it works in range, excuse me. But let's say you get like Knight Chainsword, right? It'll just do one damage to you per attack. That's super good.
Yeah,
I
that's
could see
crazy.
this in like Gravis captains or like chaplains on bikes, just to have like this super tanky like orc war boss style space marine
Hmm.
and just not die.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll see it around.
Yeah.
But since we're in relics, I might as well jump into my relic section here. Aurelian Shroud got changed. Probably for the best.
Hmm.
Um, it, it used to be a 3-inch aura, once per game use. Anyone within that 3-inch aura, models. What did we say? Models, core and characters would receive a 4+ invul save.
Hmm.
Now, at the start of the command phase, you can pop that 3-inch aura, and units, core units within 3 inches of it will get a 4+ invul save. And going by his notes, it didn't say a one-time use, so I assume I could do it any time. But
Yeah. Even if it's a one-time use, that's pretty solid for like a crucial turn. You have
yeah,
your blobs before up invul. Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
so that got buffed significantly. Let's see, any other relics worth mentioning? Sword of Judgment went up 2 strength,
Yeah, it's
so
cool. Cool melee thing.
that's a good one. And that's,
Crusader's Helm got a range buff.
yeah, but they got capped in the aura buffing, where they can't go more than 9 inches now.
Right, 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 right.
Because you used to be, with some chaplain shenanigans, you used to be able to go to like 12 inches with auras.
Yeah.
So now it's a cap at 9. Though Crusader Helm is still worth taking. Um,
Okay, I just read the notes. The Ten Houses Bones relics is works on range weapons too. So if you get Volcano Cannon from a Warlord, it will do one damage to your guy. Makes no sense, but whatever. Faith in the Emperor.
Faith in the Emperor.
Faith in the Emperor.
Um, I want to go over the Warlord traits really fast here.
Yeah.
Uh, Frontline Commander got changed, unfortunately. It used to be an aura. Now it's just on the the character himself. +1 to advanced and charge rolls, and any unit that engages that same unit you're charged will also get +1 to their charge. It used to be if you were within 3 inches of him, you would get +1 to your charge rolls. Now it's whoever he's engaged with. So it
Oh, okay.
took a little hit there, but now if you want that, you just gotta get your guy in the combat.
Nice, nice.
Master of Arms got a buff. It used to just be fight first. Now it's fight first and +1 attack.
That's super good. Makes your warlord more killy.
Yeah. Um. And the other news is the Emperor Champion has to take a Black Templar trait. Cannot take any of the.
Which is fine. Give him the +1 attack one. Well, actually, he'll that already always strikes first against characters anyway.
Yeah.
But and I believe he cannot take. We'll talk about it later, but he can't take relics.
I mean, still fighting first would be okay. Fight first
Yeah,
really isn't that great, but in compared to like always striking last. But we're not going to talk about it here. But I did see the Emperor's Champions has 2 profiles now for
yeah,
his
with the sword.
sword, a thrusting and a sweep. I don't remember 2-hand. I don't remember what it was exactly.
Right,
Basically, he can mow down hordes or target one person and kill him outright.
right.
Other than that, the other warlord traits are pretty lacking. The Black Templar warlord traits have never really been that good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they just make your guys more killy. And again, like they're not terrible. They're not like, but they're not like exciting or anything. They're just like, okay, do more damage. 6 is 2 wounds, an extra AP. Okay.
Yeah. Um, let's go to litanies.
Yeah.
Divine Protection unchanged. Still probably the best litany in my opinion. Gives you a 5+, feel no pain.
Oh yeah, that's super good.
Um, Psalms of remorselessness. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a 6 2 wounds, mortal wound, right? And melee.
Yeah. You pick one core unit, and CC rolls of 6 cause 1 mortal wound. But going by his notes, it caps out at 6, so you
Yeah,
can
it
only
does.
do 6 mortal
Which
wounds.
is it's fine. Only 6, like that's still pretty dang. 6
Uh,
mortal wounds on most things will.
that's 3. That's 3 Marines or 2 Terminators.
Yep. In
Uh,
addition to the damage you do.
yeah, and fervent acclamation, gain effect of an extra vow
Yeah.
for core or character. So you still select one person, I believe, and then so you can benefit from the assault one and the invul save one,
Yeah.
and just go crazy with it. Those were the litanies that stood out to me. I don't know if I missed any that you want to talk about, but
There's Oath of Glory gives your chaplain +1 strength and fights first, and then every 6 hit is 2 hits. That's pretty good for a blender chaplain. But other than that, yeah, the rest were the ones you mentioned. So
yeah, Oath didn't really stand out to me. That's why I didn't really mention it. But
mhm.
relic bearers.
Yeah, this is a neat new thing.
So this is stuff we can give to our sergeants and
Yeah,
other unit champions.
like mini relics.
Right. And in order to take this, which I don't know why you wouldn't already have one of these in your themed army, you must have a chaplain in order to use these relics in your
Yeah,
army. It doesn't go on the chaplain, but you have to have a chaplain. So uh, I'll go with some here. I got a Holy Orb, which is the Holy Hand Grenade for 15 points. Once per game, 6 inches. Throw this at a unit, suffers D3 mortal wounds, and fights last. And you hit on a 2+, so pretty solid with that one. Sigmason Seal. Select an you basically get to select one enemy unit at the start of the game for this unit, and you get to reroll hits and wounds in close combat. if you can get this
That
unit in close combat with them.
that's good in some unit leaders.
Yeah. So unit put this on Blade Guard, put it on anything that's good at killing in close combat, and I think you can definitely wipe out a unit super fast with all the rerolls. And the last one I have is the icon of I'll mess this up. Henneman,
Hey, Heineman.
Heyman. For 15 points, treat AP 1 and 2 as AP 0. I wasn't sure if this would have affected a squad or if it was just affected him. But either way, that's still pretty good. I
I
don't
believe
know.
this.
Say that again?
I think this stacks with relics.
Maybe.
Yeah, because these aren't relics. You actually have to pay points for these. So yeah, put that thing on like a Gravis captain with the bones, and you're just like, yeah, it's a lot of tanking.
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing some nasty combos that could be happening soon. But that's all the relic that that I saw. I don't know if anything caught your eye out there.
There's the Fist of Baltus. That's pretty solid. Just to do more damage, but it's a power fist that does D3 damage, or sorry, 3 damage
3 damage
with
with
no
no
hit penalty.
minus to hit.
Yeah, it's pretty good on a Vanguard. But other than yeah, the rest you mentioned, those are the ones I would take.
Yeah.
Although I will say it is more bookkeeping for our 40K players who I mean, and I understand like there's a lot of rules in 40K, so this is just another layer of like you got to remember this thing does this, but I think it's a cool new feature. It's very fluffy. Like the Black Templars are big on relics and all that, so I think it's a great add.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing when you get your book, right? You always expect more and more stuff to be added.
Mhm.
A bloat hammer is what happens.
Bloat hammer. Yep. Well, that's unavoidable. I think.
Eh, yeah, I agree. And the last thing I want to talk about are the unique secondaries.
Yeah.
So we got uh, purge the enemy here, a purge the enemy mission, which is bait your blades or bathe your blades in the blood of your foes. So this you have to issue a challenge with a character at the start of round one. So I don't know. You let's just say you pick Sigmundson, and other person picks a demon prince. That's the person you need to kill. Uh, and in order to get 15 points out of this, their character has to die. If it dies in melee, that's another 5 points. And if your character, the one that issues the challenge, kills him, that's another 5 points. So this one is will probably be a bit challenging to do because obviously they'll be because they get to pick which character accepts the challenge. They'll probably be very protective of it and play around your stratagem. So I don't. It'll be hard to say if you can effectively max this out
I
or not.
wish they did something like in 30K, like if you take uh gosh, what's his name? I think it's Kabanda, and there's similar effect with Kabanda and Sanguinius, where if Sanguinius kills Kabanda, you get bonus VP. But if Kabanda kills Sanguinius, they get extra VP, which gives incentive, for you to just not hide, the character. So I kind of wish that they did a thing like, oh, if you kill the enemy Emperor Champion or whatever, or the Warlord or your character, I mean, if you're the Demon Prince and you kill the Black Templar guy, you get victory points. So it incentivizes you to fight that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you're right, I would just pick like someone I could easily hide and deny you the VP
Yeah,
from
and
it. So
I just caught myself. I don't know why I keep saying Sigmundson. I mean, I should be saying Helbrick.
he's probably held brick. Sigismund is super dead.
Yeah, I know, but I keep saying Sigmundsson for some reason.
Yeah, it's all good. He has the same sword of the High Marshals.
True, true. The next one we got a battle supremacy, which is allow not the worship of unclean idols. 4 VP if you control an objective at the end of the battle round that was controlled by your opponent, and you have a chaplain within, I believe, 6 inches. I didn't write down the range. This one's gonna be hard to do.
I can see it comboing well if you got like a super tanky, super killy bike chaplain. But other than that, yeah, it's seems pretty difficult.
Well, not only are you gonna probably need the like chaplain spam, you're also gonna need to probably go second in majority of your games if you plan to
Right.
take this, because your
Right.
opponent has to control the objective and you have to take it from them. So probably don't see this one getting played too much.
Right. That's very true.
It's a bit too much. Too many blocks needed. And then the last one, we got No Mercy, No Respite mission, which is carry out your vows. So, 4 victory points per battle round if you kill more enemies in melee than you lost Black Templars. So, theoretically, depending on your turn and army you're fighting, you're probably going to get 12 points on this.
This is one of those things where like you're gonna be doing this anyway, and it just rewards you for doing the thing you're already gonna do.
Right.
So
So,
it's yeah.
but yeah, theoretically you're gonna get 12 points off this because you're gonna get in close combat, most likely turn 2.
Right.
And this is when your vows come into play as well, because this has 2 parts to it. You get 3 victory points if you complete your vows challenge here. So, quickly go through this. Suffer not the unclean vow. Kill the warlord with one of your characters in CC. Uphold the honor. Black Templar infantry unit not below half strength in the enemy deployment zone at the end of the game. Abhor the Witch, destroy a character psyker unit and accept any challenge. If destroying a unit with 20 models or a wound characteristic of 20 on a vehicle or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, I really don't see why you wouldn't take this. This one is probably the best one
Yeah.
out
Again,
of the
it's
3.
just the fact that you're being rewarded for what your army already does. That's I like those kinds of secondaries because they're thematic and they just make sense.
Yeah, and it's great that each vow also has its own mission that you need to do.
Yeah.
So, uphold honor, which is probably the one that everyone's gonna take. Get a unit, get an infantry unit in the deployment zone of your enemy. Probably easy to do, because I mean it doesn't say troops or anything, so you can probably just get like a character in there with the infantry keyword, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd look at the characters, but I didn't really look at them or take any notes on them, so I don't know what to really say about it. But overall, looks decent. I wouldn't call it a bad codex supplement. And honestly, I can't wait to try some of this stuff out. Even though I won't be able to charge turn 1 anymore, but that's fine.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, to be quite honest with you, like it's very thematic. It makes I like how they make characters super killy and super tanky. Which is again fits Black Templars who really like prize their champions. And all the special characters are super solid. I mean, we didn't go over them, but like Grimaldus has some cool rules. Heldbrecht has some cool rules. Emperor's Champion, really good against characters. Crusader squads are pretty solid. Sword Brethren is what I mentioned. They have like Sword Brethren, they could take special melee weapons. However, they can't like double down or like just everyone can't you can't have a thing where everyone takes lightning claws. It's like only like one person can take lightning claws per 10 or per 5 or something like that. Or 2 per 10 or whatever. But other
Right.
than that, like they look super fun. Um Again, relics and the warlord traits are all thematic and great. It's super exciting. I'm still working on my arts right now, but I cannot wait to start working with Black Templars.
Oh, you get a good old thematic game in. If only you had Yazgul. You can have a good old Hellbreak coming after you.
Hmm.
But yeah, that is that in terms of Black Templar news that we wanted to talk about. There is one more GW thing we need to talk about before we go to our hobby rant section,
Hmm.
and that is the you allured to it earlier, the Warhammer Day celebration.
Yes, freaking war.
So everyone, we got our favorite model back, the Space Marine Lieutenant. Hooray! I can't believe they even did this to us. And the funny thing is, like, this is the lieutenant from the box, right? Well, not exactly, but basically the same thing, correct?
Um,
The Indominus box, or not in, yeah,
yeah,
Indominus.
like he looks. I really don't like this model. He's incredibly generic. Like it's there's nothing super distinct between him and a blade guard. Like it's even the same base size. Like
Oh yeah, he's. If you put this model down and pinning him up, I mean, if he didn't have that iron halo, I don't think you'd be able to tell him apart.
blade guard have iron halos though, which is the funny part.
Oh,
So
so yeah, you definitely would not be able to
yeah,
tell
definitely
him
get
apart.
that on part. Maybe if the shield was special, maybe if he had a fancier sword, if he had a cape, he had something. But yeah, he just looks like a blade guard. You
Yeah,
know,
it's extremely
like
disappointing.
the free sergeant guy, that would have been a great Warhammer Day model, even though it's a space marine. Like, but yeah, this guy is just incredibly whatever, to be quite honest.
Well, they gotta give us a lieutenant because that's all they make now is just Primaris
It's
lieutenants.
been a year since the last lieutenant. You gotta keep it going. Can't let it slip by.
On the other hand, though, we got a vampire for the AOS crowd.
Yeah, this one is super cool. Really like
I
this.
was I was surprised they didn't go Stormcast.
Yeah, I think AOS actually like has a good balance between the poster boys and everything else. And the fact that they chose a vampire, I think that's a great choice. We haven't really had a limited edition vampire model, so I'm
Well,
thinking, I play that army. It's a cool model, so
it just feels like anything 40k related is always just a space marine, and the fantasy side can just be whatever they want. In my opinion, it feels like they could just do whatever, make whatever cool limited model they want. Because we're not just getting Stormcast or whatever. We got this guy. Uh, there's some dwarf exclusive or limited models out there. I mean, they do a lot of stuff for AOS, and then 40k. It's just, god damn it, we need another Space Marine model. Let's get him out there.
right.
And going from the news that I've heard, this is not going to be some kind of like spend $100 to get kind of deal. It's sounding like you just go to the store and pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. Just go to
So
the
30,
website.
35 bucks.
Probably 35. That makes sense. 40 pushing it, but yeah, I think these guys would be 35.
But yeah, so I would say kind of underwhelming,
Incredibly underwhelming for sure.
but there's a lot to talk about in the hobby rant section. So I know we're dragging on a little bit here. So that's Warhammer Day.
That's Warhammer Day.
So now that that's done, I don't You got anything else you want to drop before we go to hobby rants?
No. I mean, kind of pretty much covered it.
Okay, then we can drop that. So hobby rants. I want to say something. I posted an image in there of all my models there. I'm gonna pull this up. So I said last stream that I was gonna paint 25% of my hobby shame. So there we go. There's the picture of all the boxes I have of stuff that needs to get painted. It's a mess,
All right.
but it's okay because a lot of that stuff is unpainted. So there we go. That's my goal. I will update everyone on it.
You can do it. 25%. Super doable.
25%. End of the year.
Super doable.
End of the year, all these boxes will be fully painted. The only
Like
ones I stress about is 1,000 Suns.
all that trim.
All that trim. Everything else, it'll be fine. They got Star Wars Legion in like that smallest box up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4 boxes of Shadows of Brimstone, Demons, Rubrics, and then the Space Marines in the top there. Black Templar. So that'll be easy.
Right.
That's the plan. This is get all this done.
Yeah, that's super doable for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm planning to do. In terms of gaming though, I did do one game. We did a little two versus one game, just because
Okay.
didn't have the people show up, so we just decided to do a 2v1. It was my 1,000 Suns against some Ultramarines and Space Wolves.
Nice.
Didn't go too well for the loyalists, unfortunately. I didn't run Magnus because we didn't want to have a Titan running around destroying stuff. So it was the first game I ran with my T Suns where I didn't have Magnus. It was weird having so many models.
You got your vengeance against the Space Wolves.
I did. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that. I didn't really do too much anything else. Kind of just relaxed and didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Stress about my painting later. Procrastinate till the end of the year. What about you?
Did no gaming. Just did a hobby night with my buddies. So I built 2 Death Dreads, 10 more Orc Boys. I built some Underworlds models, which I'm gonna use for a weird boy and all that. Um, I just finished painting today 10 of my Storm Boys, so that's done. Inching closer to my 1,000 point list.
Oh, that
Um,
means like I get my T Suns up and going if we're gonna do a doubles tournament.
right. That might take a while because the list I have for doubles has the new Squigosaur boss, which hasn't arrived yet, so
Ah,
might be a while for that.
good. I got time to procrastinate more.
Exactly. But yeah, so just working through those orcs. However, my 30K Assault Marines came in, so I might just knock those out. Get a break from painting orcs. I
Yeah,
ordered the Black Templar box, but not sure when that's going to be coming. Could be a while before I start that army, so you'll see. We will see.
yeah. I unfortunately ordered it too. I don't know why I did, but I did.
Hey, you got the models, you got the codex.
True, true. I feel a little bad ordering it, but because I
No,
feel like I feel like I'm saying that yeah, GW, this is a great business model to start doing.
right, right. It's not even buyer's regret. It's just more like, man, I'm supporting bad business practices.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I like. Well, I mean, I was critical of the box anyways, but I wanted to just get my hands on it. But yeah, it's just a bad business practice, especially when we see the combat patrol box. Um, Speaking of bad business practices, did you hear about the news this morning that's been buzzing through the air about GW?
No, what's going on?
So GW's stock dropped like 20% today or something like that. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't watch any like GW videos except for Auspex and Chapter Master Valrak and the occasional I can't remember his name. I don't watch him too much. But yeah, so I like my for some reason my homepage on YouTube is just flooded with a bunch of like anti GW stuff, and the
Mhm.
stock thing was coming up, and it's like GW stock went down 20%. Is this the end of GW? And I was like, I highly doubt it. So I went to Google, I typed in the GW stock. Yeah, it took a dive, but ever since the pandemic hit, when the pandemic hit, that their stock like nosedived.
Yeah.
But after a couple of months, their stock like jumped up extremely high. And when this stock has dropped down 20%, it's like nowhere even near the drop where the pandemic first hit. It's nowhere close. So it's like this is probably just normal business stuff. Though it could be due to the bad practices that GW has been doing, right?
It's very possible. Yeah, they're just not getting a return on some of their investments, which is making a lot of shareholders nervous. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, there's the bad practices, there's the models, there's the potential threat of 3D printing, there's Warhammer Plus. I mean, there's so many factors out there that could have potentially made investors a little bit worried. If I was an investor, I'd probably just be worried about their production cycle.
Yeah, I don't think stuff like 3D printing or Warhammer Plus are big. I think it's probably the production cycle, in my opinion.
Yeah. But and I just found that interesting because I was just, like I said, this morning when I opened up YouTube, my homepage just, not that I'm subscribed to any of these people, my homepage was just flooded with GW stock down 20%.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, it's just like you just look at the 5 year market and you're like, yeah, no, yeah, it's a dip, but it's not that bad. I mean, there's still like $130 a stock, so nothing to really worry about there. But I thought it was interesting. I didn't know if you had heard about it.
No, I have not. So that is interesting.
Yeah, but I figured GW's not really going anywhere, so
No.
but maybe they'll repurpose their business tactics here because uh as much as I don't agree with them, the negative YouTubers, they do make solid points that GW's business handlings have been kind of getting worse and worse in terms of how stuff goes. Products are great. How they're handling it is bad.
Right, right.
But yeah, that's all I've got. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
Yoda got delayed again to December, so rip my clone army.
Star Wars Legions.
Yep. I don't know. Well, sorry, specifically, Yoda got delayed in the U.S. again, but he's already out in Europe and all that. So,
Oh,
rip.
well, that's, excuse me, that's a shame.
Yeah, that sucks. But I mean, it is what it is.
Delays on both ends here.
Delays no things. See, and that makes me understand that why GW does the 1 week pre-order thing because if I pre-ordered Yoda like when he came out, which is like in August or September or something, I would be annoyed that he got delayed 4 times. I already gave money for it. At least like when I buy if I pre-order from GW, it's usually gonna be there in like 2 weeks if it's getting shipped to my place, or like in a week if it's gonna getting shipped to the store. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's also a good indicator to see how much you actually need to see the supply for, right? So, how many Yodas you need to print out and make sure everyone's a little bit happy who wants it.
right.
But yeah, I think we'll call it there then. So, I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Everyone.